13, 14, 15. Greetings, superior beings, greetings, supreme being. Welcome to Universal Peace Television.
Universal peace now. Grab him by the pussy. The government is criminal, okay? Universal peace now. Grab him by the pussy. The government is criminal, okay? Real John David Willis Patron Philly George Soros and Margaret Chan are committee of 300 subversive of the club of members. Universal peace now. This is Donald Trump. Prevent a two-state solution. World by any means necessary. Included in the two-state solution agreement that the allies of Israel and Palestine may not intervene if they go to war with each other to prevent a two-state solution. World. Universal peace now. Keys to you, Rick. Thank you for your idea for universal peace. Universal peace now.
You're welcome, Mr. President. And of course, Donald Trump and other superstars are welcome to smoke a joint or pipe, whatever, to eat some weed. And single ladies between 16 and 60 are welcome for that free shiatsu hand massage. And this is going to be a more freestyle broadcast, I thought. I don't feel like listening to the speech engine for hours. Though I have some new material. I was watching this movie. Perhaps I can switch to this with the display capture. Another thing is that I have to plug in my video camera 3 times or more to get it to become 720p, otherwise it's 640 by 480. That's also kind of weird. And the other weird thing is that my microphone is now via my keyboard. That microphone in on the front of my computer is not working anymore. My previous videos are more about two-state solution world war threat and how to prevent a two-state solution world war. That's easy, adding to the agreement that the allies of Israel and Palestine, Russia is an ally of Palestine, may not help them if they go to war with each other. That would prevent World War III totally. It would rule it out completely. Oh yeah, this movie, that's I don't even know the name, Denial 2016, and it shows a door basically in the movie at elapsed 68-54 or around that time, perhaps a little more backwards. Let's see. Oh yeah. Okay, so turn off the desktop audio. See if this works.
1945 by the Polish authorities from Morgue 1 in Crematorium 2 were covered in cyanide. And why? The camp's chief architect, Karl Bischoff, specifically refers to Morgue 1 as a Vergassungskeller.
So here I was wondering, here is written nicht ausgeschaltet werden. I think that should be nicht ausgeschaltet werden, and I doubt if a German would make such a mistake. But other than that, I was wondering about that door that we see a picture of. And I was wondering if that door still exists, basically, because I've been searching for evidence that proves that the Holocaust really happened. And all I run into are people that claim that the Holocaust did not exist, that it's a hoax, a hollow hoax. So perhaps somebody can mail me some link or evidence that proves beyond any reasonable doubt that the Holocaust is real and that 6 million Jewish people were gassed. So I was searching for that door and I ran into this, which might also be interesting. It's not as important as the rest of the information, but it's just another... Let's see if I can find a picture. Oh yeah, this one. Okay. Holocaust deprogramming course files WordPress CC photo. And it says 1948, supporting the creation of Israel Auschwitz displays memorial that mourns 4 million murdered. That's this 4 million people suffered. Plaque or stone. 1989, the USSR, the Making My Voice fade with the remotely controlled centipedes is done by Jesuits that have murdered my mother and tortured my teeth out of my mouth. And they have planned this two-state solution, world war, of course, defeat et impera, divide to conquer, also known as divide to defeat. And their military order, so they have an open false world peace policy and a secret true universal war policy, according to the controlled opposition, Shell Eric John Phelps, a flat earther. And these people mix in important truths that they want to make look like lies. But they can't turn the truths into lies. The truth defines reality. Anyway, in 1989, the USSR releases captured death registry volumes. Auschwitz quietly revises plaque down to 1.5 million. Wait a minute, a 2.5 million people mistake. Ernst Zundel and others are in prison for only questioning the Zionist number of 6 million Jews. Was Israel created on a total lie? Truth does not fear investigation. Thesillustration.com. So, then the question is, what is the real total number, basically? But perhaps nobody gives a fuck in reality, so... Alright, this was that Michael Jackson thing, that sleeve that also predicted the demolition of the WTC. So when people see this, they don't realize that this was produced before the WTC demolition by the Jesuit patron Hans Kolfenbach. And these insects they're using can be hybrid insect microelectric mechanical systems. And apparently, Skull and Bones, the Jesuits have silenced everybody about their two-state solution world war. So the point is, be prepared with radiological water filter and storable food, peanut butter and rice. I'm not selling anything. I just want to help everybody that hasn't tortured me. The more there are of us, the better. And Prince and Michael are dead, perhaps both Jehovah's Witnesses at one point in their lives. So I'm still no Holocaust denier. And I hope somebody can find a centipede expert to help to get these centipedes out of my and my father's body. The Lithobius forficatus. My previous broadcasts cover the fact that also the common house centipede is a pseudo-parasite. So they're not harmless like some people claim, and they could just copy the lie, basically. And they've shown me they control them, so that was that doctor, this one, working with SciTech. They work with nanotechnology. So they may be involved, some of them, with hybrid insects. And the doctor held if Shipman killed over 400 of his patients. Was also Jewish, and this is Arnold Kater. So their hybrid insects are definitely real. I'm not saying that these people are involved with it, but somebody definitely controls these critters. And FIPA, frequency independent phased array antenna through the wall radar, you can build that yourself, so that's easy. Synthetic telepathy machine Mijdrecht patent is online, so others may also have built that. I'm not sure that the government is doing this, and I think not, because these people are super criminals. They've murdered my mother. But I'm not saying that this is the next Dr. Harold F. Shipman. Anyway, I just run into that now, because they were taking my throat with their hybrid insects, or remotely controlled lithobius forficatus controlled with synthetic telepathy. You see, I think they don't need a little chip in the insect body to control it with synthetic telepathy, that the brainwave is electromagnetic. Oh. And that beam they've used to torture my teeth out of my mouth was partially deflected by a grounded Van de Graaff generator. This is a 360-degree photograph of me actually sitting on the toilet. I think the quality is not that high. I have better ones anyway. But okay, the important information. This was Richard Goodjar. I've shown this in my previous broadcast, so usually I try to give an overview of everything that's most important. And at the moment I think that's preventing a two-state solution world war. And perhaps that idea is not even my own idea, perhaps it's their idea, and perhaps they're going to add that to the agreement, and then a two-state solution world war cannot come to pass, no 7-year nuclear winter. Which perhaps should be built into Monopoly as well. What do you all think? You can Skype Prologic 999. So this is about Einat Wilf, the wife of the person that was at several of the attacks, supposedly. He filmed them, Richard Goodjar. And she was in the Israel Defense Forces. She was an intelligence officer in Unit 8200 and reached the rank of lieutenant. And Wikipedia, the CIA Vatican-controlled edited encyclopedia, has removed that she was in Unit 8200. This is the new version of their article. But that's not that important. Let's just read my latest writings, also to get myself inspired to have new things to talk about. Okay, this will work.
We're sorry, South Park episodes can only be streamed in the United States. Somebody mentioned George P. Bush in my skull last night. Perhaps somebody made a mistake and I was hearing some high-placed officials. Later I also heard what seemed to be a live broadcast of protesters. The Bush Dynasty of Death, 9/11 New World Order 911note.com. Is it possible the torture with the beam was done by George W. Bush, Skull and Bones, without the knowledge of Adolfo Nicolas, Superior General of the Jesuits, who tortured my teeth out of my mouth and my mother to death with the FIBA array in Poker Flats, Alaska? It seems logical only Adolfo Nicolas in control of the alphabet agencies can be the one responsible. Or are there non-governmental organizations or people with access to synthetic telepathy and through-the-wall radar? Perhaps the person said George W. Bush, not P. Prescott. Government using citizens as guinea pigs and torturing innocents. Rants.com. The torture started under Bush and their neural network can speak any language, usually your local language. It is a global torture system. The two-state solution. The two-state solution is no solution. HuffingtonPost.com. Bennett tells Netanyahu to reject two-state solution ahead of Trump's I-24 News, press release, registration-May 13, 2017. Bennett chides Netanyahu for not rejecting two-state solution. World Israel News. 20 hours ago, Russia's Putin backs two-state solution between Israel and Palestine. Daily Saba. May 12, 2017. I think a two-state solution world war is not preventable. It's clearly the Jesuits' plan for a global government. Yedith. 9 hours ago. Bennett is correct, so the question is, how to get the people's message out to Trump when we can't trust our PM to speak for us, the message that according to 80% of Israelis Oslo is dead and we want the one-state solution that is annexation/100% sovereignty. With Jerusalem our undivided capital where Trump promised to move the USA embassy to. My worries about Trump's short visit, I worry most about Bibi, only representing himself trying to cling to power, whispering two-state solution nonsense in Trump's ear. I'm confident that Trump will see through Abbas's lies, but will he see through Bibi's lies as well? My proposal, everywhere Trump goes in Israel he should see signs with the same slogans, the people of Israel want one state. Sovereignty now, don't sell us out, you promised embassy move and Jordan is Palestine. Keep it simple and the same all throughout Israel. I'd be willing to contribute money to see this done. Crowdfunding. Anyone? Is there anybody who can take the initiative? An advertising company? A large printing company? 1 million signs and billboards is what we need. Around the King David Hotel, printed on Trump's napkins, all over Masada, yes even at Yad Vashem. In the hotel, along the streets and roads, in front of the PM's home and Knesset, on t-shirts, on cars and baby strollers and hanging from balconies. Make flags with one of these slogans to hang under the Israeli flag. Remember, everywhere Trump goes he must see the same messages over and over again. This is the only way to get through to him in my opinion. If you like this idea please pass it on. We have 1 week to get it done. WorldIsraelNews.com. The previous is just a comment to the article. Bennett chides Netanyahu for not rejecting two-state solution. Trump cannot prevent the two-state solution from being implemented, not even if he wanted to, and because they want a two-state solution world war in totalitarian global government the Jesuits will attempt to prevent an addendum that prevents a two-state solution world war from being added to the agreement. If the two-state solution would include the allies of Israel and Palestine may not intervene when Israel and Palestine go to war with each other, that would rule out that the agreement leads to world war. So this is why they have been silencing and isolating me. People are at this stage more brain-controlled than most or all of them realize. Russia's Putin backs two-state solution between Israel and Palestine. DailySpa.com. Skull and Bones. Two-state solution World War III unavoidable. Prep with radiological water filter plus food. Two-state solution World War. John Kerry Skull and Bones. Prepare with a radiological water filter and storable food. To prevent a two-state solution world war, include in the agreement the allies of Israel and Palestine may not intervene if they go to war with each other. To prevent WW3, see my YouTube channel, Ulrich Kaufman, for more info. Comment to The Sun article, Global Threat. Could World War III happen in 2017? How threats from Syria, Russia, Iran, North Korea and ISIS are mounting 30 comments. Jared McClimmer was 33 when he set himself on fire. Check all 33 songs on the music page, soundclick.com. Bandit equals 798206. Rosar says, May 14, 2017 at 5 o'clock a.m. 2 or 3 seconds earlier he could have been saved. I read some guy tried kicking the lighter out of his hand and got burned. Was hard to tell. Sometimes people will never try it again if they come that close, then others will. Hats off to the guy that tried to help. Miscopy.com. Macron expected to support two-state solution, says BDS is anti-Semitic. Jerusalem Post. Israel News 19 hours ago. Need for two-state solution in Palestine and Israel has become urgent. German President. Reuters Tuesday, May 9, 2017. Theory: the government has been hijacked by criminals with directed energy weapons and through-the-wall radar. Russia's Jehovah's Witnesses ban backed by flourishing satanic church in Moscow. Newsweek. May 12, 2017. Jehovah's Witnesses are very strongly cultic in both doctrine and behavior, thus fitting both categories of false doctrine and mind control. Cultwatch.com/jw.html. The founders of both faiths, the Mormons and JWs, were of the Illuminati bloodline. Charles Taze Russell, who founded the Watchtower Society, Jehovah's Witnesses, was of the Illuminati Russell bloodline, which also founded the infamous Skull and Bones Society at Yale University. Charles Taze Russell was a Satanist, a pedophile according to his wife, and a friend of the Rothschilds. Indeed, it was the Rothschilds who funded the Jehovah's Witness operation into being, along with other Illuminati bankers, through contributions by organizations like the Rothschild-controlled B'nai B'rith. This was proved in a court of law in 1922. One of the key people involved in this was Frank Goldman, who later became president of B'nai B'rith. Why would an organization set up, in theory, to help Jewish people and promote the Jewish faith, be funding into existence the Jehovah's Witnesses? I think the name Rothschild answers the question. Russell was also a high-degree Freemason and Knights Templar. He promoted Zionism, another Rothschild creation. C was Hitler Rothschild, on behalf of his friends and backers. HiddenMysteries.org. We have a new weapon, just within the portfolio of our scientists, so to speak, which is so powerful that, if unrestrainedly used, it could wipe out all life on Earth. It is a fantastic weapon. Khrushchev, to the Presidium, January 1960. Chenir.org/books/Ferdalens/S75.htm. Psychoenergetics is simply using the scalar interferometers to manipulate and engineer the human psyche. The quantum potential weaponry, possessed by only 3 nations, is supreme, because it uses multiply connected space-time, and does not involve propagation of M energy through space as does the longitudinal M-wave interferometers. NASA won't send astronauts on new rocket's first mission despite Trump's request. Live.com. The New York Times reports that adding astronauts to the mission would have added between $600 and $900 million to the already $24 billion allocated budget, and possible delay it another year. Thank you for your like. I'm doing my best to save us all, the whole human race. E. Williams? New FBI Director. Trump's daughter. Perhaps someone could Skype the president about the two-state solution World War Agreement, or whoever can add the addendum. Joseph Fritzl is a Jew. YouTube anti-Jewish boycotts. Jewish virtual library tests their voice of God weapon. We have to choose sides. Both of them. Left and right will, eventually, unite. Theory. But seriously, there is no left and right. Both "sides" are controlled by the same Jesuits and Masons. It's better to be a lover than a hater. Take action now. So Trump revealed the Mossad? Is that classified now? Bob Knight 33 ? POTUS has the right to share any intel at any time to anyone. Nothing illegal letting it beam. Who's creamed? Streets. Legally 33 ? Donald Trump is the president. The press needs to shut their big mouth and respect him. Press 1 if you agree he tried to give 20% of the U.S. uranium to Russia. Mossad's Nation chat message found in the live stream. President Donald Trump joint statements with President Erdogan May 16, 2017 press conference chat. When Trump supports terrorist Erdogan. Erdogan is a terrorist on Twitter. Turkey's Erdogan, Muslim Brotherhood is ideological, not terrorist. Erdogan tells Merkel to stop saying Islamist terrorism. Daily Mail Online. Adureds hate Trump. Talk about the genocide of the Armenians. All religions are abominations. Fox News live stream. President Trump latest news today. Possibly illegal chat remarks. Kush attack kill white infants. My cat Ranzit kill all niggers. Kill all. Debatory ? 30 minutes ago the news was Trump giving US secrets to the Russians. We're not even talking about that now? Now it's obstruction. Trump's done. Tom Sawer? Using Jew commie terms like racism and anti-Semitism is the verbal equivalent of digging your own grave before you're shot. Terms like sexism and homophobia aren't words, they are concepts. Daddy's girl knee? Harf and that other pig layover from Obaris? Crapping on America, oh yeah, including the man boy at the podium. All three ought to be disposed of. Raphael C. Jews are the worst scum on earth. We may and should not blame all Jews unless we can prove they are all involved in the depopulation or all do what the voice of God weapon tells them to, which is highly improbable or not. Apollo moon landings are a hoax. See my channel Ulrich Kaufman on YouTube for the evidence that proves it beyond any reasonable doubt. Not found in most top 10. Ulrich Kaufman. Not the whole government is criminal, that's their problem. James Finlaw. Hillary is died? Round up all secret society members? Ulrich Kaufman. If we would all follow what is written in the chat, we'd all be making love. Fuck. Which deity are you on? LOL. Make America paid again. Cure against aging. Of course. Make America raped again. Make America rate again. No people, it's make America great again. Himp 4. Victory. FBI sitting on evidence proving Seth Rich murdered for posting DNC emails to WikiLeaks. No spin. I see Trump is meeting with world leaders. Why don't the MSM cover that? Good day. Hillary spit in the communion wine in church. Space Monkey. No evidence, no impeachment? Free weed for single chicks. I am real. The voice of DOD weapon. Hitler shut down the Rothschild banks, kicked all Freemasons out of the ranks. Eric W., some call it Goyim Revolution, controlled opposition, flat earther, how Masonic is Mossad. Assholes take risks. Assange. Quote, adding one line to the two-state solution agreement rules out World War III global government? What Jews did to Germany in 1930 are doing the same in US now. Brock Darren. 1 month ago. 29 views. Anyone thinking about making the government smaller instead of bigger? I'm transparent. It's clear. We are 1, 2, 3. Sheep pull. And of course the Jesuits are the wolves. The most stunning thing to note is the Fabian Society's coat of arms seen below, a wolf in sheep's clothing. The Fabian Society is very powerful and it is connected to the latter Tavistock Institute for Human Relations. Both work towards socially engineering the world into the new scientific dictatorship and global mindset. You will notice how the Fabian Society dictate the Queen's purse from the taxpayers. Take a look at their logo and you will see a wolf in sheep's clothing. This shows you that they have a far different and more devious agenda than what they portray to the herd. Study the founders of the Fabian Society and notice their roots into the Society for Psychical Research and the powerful Coefficients Club, which was mastered above the Rothschilds by families such as the Pallavicini, whose roots are in Genoa, and a family who destroyed the Lega Lombarda financial system so that the Holy Roman Empire could take control of Italy. If it's Marxist, then it's Fabian Society, my friend, and we are being moved into a Marxist system, as we in Britain know all too well. We are all too aware that Karl Marx was trained by the Jesuit order just as Lenin was. TheUnhivedMind.com. The Loyola shield features a pair of rampant gray wolves flanking each side. St. Ignatius of Loyola was a Spanish priest and theologian, who founded the religious order called the Society of Jesus, Jesuits, and became its first superior general. Psychical, performed by or pertaining to the mind or spirit, mental, psychic. From 17th c. quotations. Theology, pertaining to the animal nature of man, as opposed to the spirit. From 18th c. outside the realm of the physical, supernatural, psychic. From 19th c. Stratfor is a joke and so is WikiLeaks for taking it seriously. The corporate research firm has branded itself as a CIA-like global intelligence firm, but only Julian Assange and some overpaying clients are fooled. TheAtlantic.com alternative media continues to ignore Alex Jones' Stratfor connections. Fitsinfo.wordpress.com Stratfor had two Alex Joneses. Alex Jones creating bogus stories to circumvent Stratfor revelations. Alex Jones' Stratfor connection and the murder of Andrew Breitbart. Alex Jones and InfoWars appear to be in damage control as damning information linking Alex Jones to the Israeli intelligence firm Stratfor is spreading virally around the internet, while Breitbart may have been killed for his upcoming video release of Obama's alleged communist terror connections as put forth by Alex Jones and InfoWars. There is a possibility that he was killed by an Israeli hit team in an attempt to divert attention away from the Alex Jones Stratfor connection. While this may seem absurd, the Alex Jones Stratfor story is now posted on over 3,000 blogs and rising every hour. Louise Minch claims she has evidence that the founder of Breitbart was murdered by Russian agents. Overwhelming evidence that Alex Jones is a double agent, NLP mind manipulator, and Zionist shill. Reddit.com To cure a disease you have to take away the cause and not just fight the symptoms. Hope equals just do it. Prayer equals misprogramming. Anything wrong with the idea to make it illegal to wear a mask or face covering at demos? Micro Macron, Nick. The dental torturers could be corrupt or satanic police, Bilderberg? The voice-to-skull messages of the torturer were in Dutch satanic murder cults among European royalty, nobility and the Knights Templar, Gilles de Rais, Vatican, Jesuits, Mafia, Baphomet, Lave, Freemasonry, Mazzini, Pike, Baroness Lalaurie, Roman occult rituals of Lupercalia, Ninth Circle child sacrifice. Prince Philip of England of the Coburg Saxe Gothic clan, descended from Vlad the Impaler or Dracula of Transylvania. Prince Charles has a stake in Transylvania and lives in Dracula's Transylvania 6 months out of each year, has blood transfusions regularly from young children to make him live longer, like many of the billionaire globalist class. Like Al Gore of the firm Blood and Gore, who skims off the carbon tax scam, keeps raw blood in his refrigerator. The Bohemian Grove is a super ultra elite club, including presidents of the United States, that practice bizarre satanic druid customs during the summer solstice in a grove in the redwood forest above San Francisco, when the sun, Sol, appears to be at its highest point in the sky. One of the Earth's hemispheres is at its maximum tilt towards the sun. It creates the longest daytime of the year. Then the Bohemian Grove emulate the ancient satanic secret cosmic mystery cults of Babylon, Rome, and Greece. The members secretly celebrate and sacrifice to the old gods such as Moloch, Ishtar, Cybele, Lilith, Attis, sun gods Mithras, and Apollo, Sol Invictus unconquered sun. Bohemian Grove with the cremation of care ritual where they sacrifice a child, killing it and burning it. They say they pretend to, beneath a 40 feet stone statue of Anal symbolizing Minerva and thus Cybele. The key is that the satanic religion and its recruiting cults of Freemasonry and the Crowleyan sexual ritual Ordo Templi Orientis are fake gangs, created by men as a technique to conquer the world. EnergyEnhancement.org/satanic murder cults. European royalty, nobility, Knights Templar, Gilles de Rais, Vatican, Jesuits, Mafia, Baphomet, Lave, Freemasonry, Mazzini, Pike, Baroness Lalaurie, Roman occult rituals, Lupercalia, Ninth Circle child sacrifice. HTM The David Duke Show. The Zionist deep state support of ISIS and destruction of the Western world. May 15, 2017. 120% of all child deaths in London Borough caused by inbreeding. A new report from the London Borough of Redbridge has revealed almost 1 in 5 of all child deaths in the area since 2008 were down to their parents being close relatives. The council's report found between 2008 and 2016, 19% of child deaths in the borough were caused by infants being born to consanguineous relationships, marriage or otherwise sexual relations between couples who are first cousins or closer. DailyStormer.com. While the issue of Clinton's private email server was in the headlines throughout the campaign, the contents of her emails, which were revealed by WikiLeaks and their veracity never denied, are almost never discussed. The emails show that as Secretary of State she knowingly and materially supported the rise of ISIS. WikiLeaks. Jihad Joris, Dutch converts waging jihad in Syria and Iraq. Bellingcat, May 17, 2017. In mid-2012, the European intelligence and security community was confronted with a sudden outflow of citizens traveling to Syria, and later to Iraq. Chris Cornell of the band Soundgarden supposedly hung himself like Mike Hutchins of INXS. Macron expected to support two-state solution, says BDS is anti-Semitic. What is BDS? The boycott, divestment, sanctions, BDS, movement works to end international support for Israel's oppression of Palestinians and pressure Israel to comply with international law. What the fucks? News. Satireland. I'm blinded by the daisies in your yard. Loyolo. Ejaculation in every nation. Prince Charles has blood transfusions regularly from young children to make him live longer. Microphone stopped working when connecting another microphone. The Emetian watchtowers of Dr. D, secret agent of Queen Elizabeth I, codename 007. The Reggae case. The tinfoil hat stereotype is comparable to the idea that Trump is a Nazi. Totally wacko. Most of them were assimilated with torture. Know your enemy, the Jesuits, YouTube Jesuits' enemies, the 7 billion people of planet Earth they plan to exterminate in their third Jesuit world war, and their other enemy is the Jesuits themselves, which have murdered fellow Jesuits, though you could argue not often enough because they are ultra-sadistic pedophile cannibals in reality. Never interrupt your enemy when he is making a mistake. Napoleon Bonaparte height, 1.68 meters. They wear martyrs' eyes on their sleeves. Fuck Bones. Two-state solution. World war plans, prevent 7-year nuclear winter, add to agreement. Allies of Israel and Palestine, Russia, may not help them if they go to war with each other. Fuck Jesuits. Linda Sandoval? No NWO. Anyone still on its side dies. I don't give a damn who you are. Dracula means son of the devil in Romanian. Foxy DC. Deaf to all Jews can be interpreted in many different ways. For example, saying the word deaf to all Jewish people because they are programmed to listen. Shema, the main Jewish prayer, means listen, in the sense of be deaf. Jewish people, do not help to enslave yourself. It's a neural network that serves the pedo elite, the Jesuits and Masons, and is trying to play you out against the Goyim and the enemies of the Jesuits. Deaf in the sense of excellent, you cannot see how it's written when spoken. Deaf to all Jews, not listening to people that are Jewish. Death to all Jews, saying death to all Jewish in the sense of kill all Goyim or in the sense of wishing all Jews death. It's a PewDiePie quote. It can all be satire. De-religionization now, universal peace now. Ulrich Kaufman. Spam could be a CIA robot to erase certain chat messages. Ulrich Kaufman. Peace to all in this chat. Unite SpaceX? Peace? Brother, all religion is war, all religion is peace equals satanic inversion. 33% of us are Christian, 20% of us are Muslim if we are to believe Wikimedia Commons. Alex Jones, David, Eric Phelps, Lisa Haven, Christopher Green Arshills, controlled opposition. Anyone in this chat that believes ISIS is not Mossad? Ulrich Kaufman. CIA robots are posting in this chat. POW. Air. Gun. Controls. Phil Douglas. If you were a Jew, you would know how it feels to have Trump selling weapons to Israel's sworn enemy. Chris W. Make Arabia Great Again. Trump almost never makes a speech error. Is he hearing a voice in his head that tells him what to say? Perhaps it really is a DoD bot, a God bot. The Uber Quantum. Criminals often do not want to be filmed. The last known impact of an object of 10 kilometers, 6 miles, or more in diameter was at the Cretaceous Paleogene extinction event 66 million years ago. The minimum impact velocity on Earth is 11 km per second, with asteroid impacts averaging around 17 km per second. Hitler shut down the Rothschild banks, kicked all Freemasons out of the ranks, opened up the lodges for the public to see, freed Germany from Jewish usury. Eric W., some call it Goyim Revolution, controlled opposition, flat earther, think tank. Think RPG. Go nuclear. Waste. The House of NASA. How can you be not triggered? Possibly illegal remarks in fast-moving chat of the video, live, President Donald Trump Israel speech, press conference Netanyahu, President Rivlin, Jerusalem snoot boop someone plaza assassinate Trump let's love rules. John Alexei? Happy Armageddon? The earth is cubical. LOL. John Alexei Ulrich, it makes sense, imminent. Vedic cosmology hybrid insects are real and so is the T4 nanobot. We will eventually get rid of all religion through education, destroy the voice of God weapon, do not kill all believers wherever you may find them. ITS illegal Jesuits DID 9/11, not a real job. ISIS is an American plot to destabilize the region, says Iran. Time.com. I have always doubted the source of the ISIS is Mossad claim was Snowden. It does not matter what the source is, only if it is true. Without evidence no one can convince me either way. Snowden and Assange may both be controlled opposition. Labeling things and possibly lies that they want to spread as classified. I do not know if there is any evidence to prove this theory wrong. If there is, Skype Pro Logic 999. Snowden confirms that al-Baghdadi was trained by Mossad Siyasat. Park. It's just psychological warfare. Or not. The best way to control opposition is to destroy it ourselves. Lol. The Lenin quote is, the best way to control opposition is to lead it ourselves. NSA doc reveals ISIS leader al-Baghdadi is US, British and Israeli intelligence asset. NSA documents add more detail to plan to destabilize Middle East. Kernimo, Infowars.com, July 19, 2014. ISIS, creation of the CIA. The Alex Jones channel. 387,367 views published on June 23, 2014. Putin tells everyone exactly who created ISIS. Truthstream Media. 11,807,930 views. The Jewish people were expelled from many countries, but so were the Jesuits. Though there is an anti-Semitic movement, I have not found any anti-Jesuit movement. Nazis are not purely anti-Semitic. The story goes they mix in racism, homophobia and extermination of mentally impaired people, which are pretty expensive to keep but create jobs. Any person can become mentally impaired and there are ways to raise your IQ. There should be a movement that stands up to the people that are trying to depopulate the earth, against the infiltration of our government by Jesuits and Masons that should be rounded up and arrested, anti-racism, anti-homophobia, and that exposes the fact that Islamophobia does not exist because there are 164 jihad verses in the Quran and therefore it is not an irrational fear. If you do not regulate the influx of immigrants, Sharia law will be imposed upon you within your own country. Stop Islamization and expose religion. We need de-religionization through education. A movement by and for the people, that helps to protect and serve the taxpayers. Anti-torture, anti-government corruption, on away today.wordpress.com. Exit Brexitor, Nexit. Fuck updates. Warn the world grave imminent danger, not just WW3, must see important spread intel.
So, somebody should let them know that these lines can be added. Perhaps Alex Jones can contact me about this two-state solution world war. The plan of the Jesuits, Skull and Bones, to depopulate Earth to 500 million and create a satanic Luciferian negative dystopian global government. 500 million, a more controllable number. So that they can add these lines to the agreement. Otherwise I think that's not going to happen if nobody lets them know they cannot add it. And if their plan is to exterminate 7 billion and a 7-year nuclear winter, then there's not much we can do about it but prepare. And people without the radiological water filter would not survive it, of course. And they also have seed banks in Norway, so it's a way to get rid of the nukes and all the GMO out there. 3:59. Oh. Happening huge explosions and multiple deaths reported at Ariana Grande concert. May 22nd, 2017, 489 comments. Which I was looking for in this other article, but this apparently doesn't have any comments. That's their article. Huffington Post, Jew confused why ISIS doesn't threaten Jews. Well, we can read that then. So I find it interesting news website. And I study it because there are 6 Jews that want to depopulate the earth, for sure, with book quotes, etc. that prove it. But there are also non-Jews helping them. And I think that the Jesuits are doing this. They've tortured me, they've tortured my mother to death. And their military order that wanted global government, advocated by the Pope of Rome. And I think it would suck, a 7-year nuclear winter. So live stream I may not rebroadcast, for as far as I know. Though I have the feeling some people on YouTube do that, and I appreciate it. I mean, I usually don't use these other live streaming websites. And I think it's nice, there's a chat with it, etc. And that way it's spread out more, the bandwidth, so that you don't get millions of viewers having to use one channel, so that there are several channels so that everybody can watch it, and the chat isn't too fast, etc. Because the cables are already there and everything, so perhaps we should use it to its full potential. That's what it's for. The internet. Happening, huge explosions. Oh yeah. Well, we have this other website. Let's see if they already claim that it's a fake attack again. So I haven't seen any material, I haven't seen the pictures of the dead people, etc. And that can look very convincing. I've already clicked a while ago, connecting, it says here. What a lovely idea. Well, it's... there it is. Times Square car attack, a total hoax with fake dead. Mosquito. I have my record ready. White supremacist shooting... Well, Times Square car attack with fake dead and Photoshop fakes. Well, it's not as big as that new one, supposedly. At least 20 people were killed and possibly hundreds of others were injured. Injures, the person writes. Could be MI5 NSA typo. They control the human mind with synthetic telepathy. Of others were injured after one or more loud bangs were heard Monday night at an Ariana Grande concert at Manchester Arena in England, multiple law enforcement told NBC News. Possibly 2 explosions. There was no immediate information on what kind of explosions occurred. Could have been caused by a nail bomb. Perhaps this is based on Forrest Gump or whatever. So on the Now This Info website they claim they're using fake blood, etc. and that all these, or most of the attacks are fake. Of course that may also trigger some real attacks. So if someone is brain controlled, you cannot convince them. Not even if you have reproducible studies, etc. I was gonna read some comments. Check out the MSM, what they have to report. At least 19 killed in terror attack outside Ariana Grande concert. RollingStone.com. Manchester Arena, 19 dead after explosion at Ariana Grande. Didn't I say Manchester a while ago? I don't know if it's in one of my broadcasts with psychic predictions of where the next ISIS attacks will be. 19 fatalities confirmed after explosions reported at Ariana. Well, then it's not important because it already happened. So it's not preventable anymore, so it's about the next ones, if they're gonna hit DC or some other spot. What do you all think? If you know where they're gonna strike next, then you can Skype ProLogic999 and then we can do a broadcast. We can do a live Skype session. You can call me right now, ProLogic999 on Skype. Here, this is my Skype. Okay. So I come to the conclusion every time that it's the Masons and the Jesuits especially. And they overlap, so people can be both Masons and Jesuits. I'm gonna pick another pipe. So that's the most important thing, I think, because the two-state solution world war would affect 7 billion lives, possibly even more with the scalar weapons which have made these nuclear weapons obsolete. Nikola Tesla's death ray, it's definitely real. And they're taking my throat with their centipedes to make me cough. So they have a whole smear campaign, etc. Predictive programming. I have a feeling there's something wrong with the term. I think it's more like they portray things in movies that they already have. Exoskeleton, the mask that you can print out in the Mission Impossible movies, and these hybrid insect micro-electromechanical systems which you see in the Matrix. The only real people live in Zion, Matrix 1 quote. And yeah. So perhaps you can tell me, who do you think is doing the torture with directed energy weapons? Is it MI5 or NSA or both of them? Or did they give that ability to the cancer tetracycle cops that illegally refused me my right to press charges of incitement to commit genocide against these people with their book quotes that prove they want to depopulate Earth? And also they've illegally refused me my right to press charges of the directed energy weapon torture. So people cannot press charges. They tell you to go to the people who are doing the torture, the AIVD. So that's not gonna help. It's like filling in a complaint form basically, so that you never hear again about the thing, instead of pressing charges. And they control the judges and they control the lawyers with the same technology, synthetictelepathy.com, and with torture, with their beam. They call it directed energy weapon torture. That's 4 words. You can also use the word beam, of course, or death ray, Nikola Tesla. Not microwave weapons. They're not microwave weapons. Then it would be easy to prove and measure. They're using wireless energy of Nikola Tesla, which is the same as scalar waves. Professor Mile, M-E-Y-L, on YouTube has already proven this, and you can make your own scalar waves. And you only need a coil, which I've shown in the previous broadcasts already. So I'm home free. Yeah, I still have the grounded Van de Graaff generator. But I have not succeeded yet at creating a Tesla plasma shield, of which you can see a picture in my previous broadcasts. If you search with Google, there's one of them online. Also of the T4 nanobot, which is a picture, and all the other nanobots are airbrush illustrations and computer graphics, computer generated images. They're not real, but this T4 is definitely real. And perhaps that's what's causing me the headache. Letter S is their favorite letter to block. Perhaps a static MI5 or whatever. And then they may erase all evidence. They can cause heart attacks, brain bleedings, cancer. Former President Chavez, for example, who spoke out about HARP, though in reality they're using FIPA in Poker Flat, Alaska. HARP was a fake facility that was open every 6 years to the public. I don't know if it's still open and what they really use it for then, but that's what I have read, and I indicate that usually. So it's usually clear, I think, from my writings. If I think it's a theory, it can also be something else, which I've explained. It can be a thought generated by the neural network, which is trying to run a smear campaign, trying to make me look like a pedophile instead of the perpetrators, the Jesuits, which are famous for the pedophilia. Note how they try to make my voice fade and shit, to make me look like a troll, which they are themselves, of course, MI65. So I've been I've not been talking enough about MI5, MI6, and the British pedophilia, perhaps the famous Jewish pedophile Jimmy Savile, etc. But if we want to create a better timeline and survive this, then we have to expose these people. Otherwise they're definitely gonna do that two-state solution world war thing. And people with a radiological water filter will survive anyway. So I hope they are caught and that they are brought to justice, executed, because they've killed millions of people. And they are in the process of depopulating the earth, dumbing down the populace. But I've also described this in my previous broadcasts. So $150 for whoever can get these remotely controlled centipedes, these high mems, out of my father's body. Any working cure. And I've put a list online on universecreator.weebly.com which ones I've already tried, and they are procreating, so I will die from them if this continues and I don't find a way to get them out. I've tried to find their eigenfrequenz, which I made a video of. And I think millions of people have centipedes in their body. Some of them have contacted me. Some of them were also misdiagnosed by their doctors. And prescription drugs are a leading killer in the USA, and so is misdiagnosis. They're both in the top 10 of main causes of death. And hospitals are slaughterhouses nowadays. So it's possible there are more Harold Shipmans out there, the doctor that killed over 400 of his patients, a Jewish doctor as well. And I just say that because I think the Jewish people are overrepresented in the mainstream media. So that's biased, and all the good jobs, it's Handje Klap. The Jews on top give the jobs to the Jews instead of the Goyim, which they consider less than excrement. Some of them perhaps do consider them less, but that's all. Well, how would you prove such a thing? Basically, just Talmud quotes is not gonna cut it, I guess. No, I think it's definitely the Jesuits and MI5, and they also control Mossad, the alphabet agencies. And they're also using microwaves to depopulate the Earth, which you can shield with aluminum foil. Ooh, you're a paranoid person. So it's 4:16. My brain is hurting a bit, so perhaps they're just doing this to make me look bad, basically. Whatever. I think that if people are really brain controlled, then best looking people can still be become victims and kill themselves or be killed. So they're running smear campaigns against people that expose them, that also expose controlled opposition, and that's also seen in chats, for example. In my previous broadcast I covered that somebody called Wolverine posted a centipede in a dating chat. So that's part centipede emoji. I mean, you can see it in the previous broadcast on this channel. So they're letting people in on what they're doing, so they become accomplices, and they can use it against them in the court of law, which they control. It's comparable to Beetlejuice, basically. So they have CIA robots that simply write that you're old and you're ugly and other things to give people low self-esteem. So I've also covered Prince Charles's blood transfusions of little children. So he takes that blood of little children to live longer, supposedly. And the people that did these things to me are definitely capable of that. They're unimaginably wicked super criminals. Trained torturers, which they may consider an art. And I'm of course completely against all torture. Perhaps I can read that latest stuff again. So these world leaders are puppets of the Jesuits, and there are no sides, no left and right. They use divide to defeat to accumulate wealth and power. Also explained by controlled opposition David Icke with the shape-shifting reptilians. Another controlled opposition person is Kevin Annett. So they may mix important truths with, for example, Kevin Annett is a fake priest with a fake court to prevent real opposition that's based on the Lenin quote. And lots of people successfully prevent real opposition by forming controlled opposition to themselves. Fake opposition that is sabotaged in a way so they can use that to bring down anybody that tries to expose them. Anyway, don't believe what I say and create a timeline you want, create a cure against aging, control these 23 factors that control aging, and spread the idea for your own future, so that you have a future. You have one anyway, whether you like it or not.
The Jewish people were expelled from many countries, but so were the Jesuits. Though there is an anti-Semitic movement, I have not found any anti-Jesuit movement. Nazis are not purely anti-Semitic. The story goes they mix in racism, homophobia and extermination of mentally impaired people, which are pretty expensive to keep but create jobs. Any person can become mentally impaired, and there are ways to raise your IQ. There should be a movement that stands up to the people that are trying to depopulate the earth, against the infiltration of our government by Jesuits and Masons that should be rounded up and arrested, anti-racism, anti-homophobia, and that exposes the fact that Islamophobia does not exist because there are 164 jihad verses in the Quran, and therefore it is not an irrational fear. If you do not regulate the influx of immigrants, Sharia law will be imposed upon you within your own country. Stop Islamization and expose religion. We need de-religionization through education. A movement by and for the people, that helps to protect and serve the taxpayers. Anti-torture, anti-government corruption, on the way today. WordPress.com. Exit Brexitor, Nexit. Fuck updates. Warn the world grave imminent danger, not just WW3, must see important spread intel.
So I think I'm gonna watch the live attacks if it's still on. It reminds me of that pressure cooker attack. And I don't even know if they caught these people. And I think that the people with synthetic telepathy definitely know who did it. The neural network can simulate any person, so people are brain mapped. It's Project Immortality. birds are already singing at 4:24. So at least when they implement the two-state solution agreement, then it's a good idea to get the radiological water filter and storable food. Also good are cloudbusters, an ionizer, air cleaner with filters, with cancer chemtrails some people have died of, and to wear a raincoat that shields you against these nanobots in rain that eat parts of your brain selectively. Another mosquito in my room. Know your enemy, the Jesuits, Freemasons depopulating you. Anybody depopulating you is your enemy. Your life is the most important thing. Survival is all. We have the rest of eternity to be dead once we die, so that's something to be prevented. Stay proactive rather than reactive. What else is good advice? Well, sometimes it helps if I just relax and talk as if I'm not broadcasting anything. Relax. So yeah, I really wonder if you all are hearing a voice that tells you not to talk about the two-state solution, world war. People can Skype me, email me, or bchoffman@gmail.com, or leave a comment on YouTube. And if you think it's not gonna happen, then I'd be interested to know why you think it won't happen, or why it can't happen. Perhaps I missed something. Christopher Green is also a controlled opposition. Any publicity is good publicity, they say. Peace to all controlled opposition anyway. I guess they're not in control of the button of the torture machine. Maybe one day we'll all have such a button. I think it's not gonna happen. Mosquito on my arm. Did you see it? It was right there. So I can better place that mesh in front of the window. But the problem is it doesn't close properly, and it's a nuisance to take it out and put it in all the time. So I do have hair on my head. You can also clearly hear it and feel it. But it's standing like that, and this is standing like this. So that's why you don't see this, but it's there. And I usually like to shave. Tomorrow I'm gonna shave again, probably. Yeah, single ladies are welcome. As long as you don't sleep with me, there's no danger. Danger is bigger that you die of AIDS if you have sex with people that have frequent contacts. And you do not use colloidal silver. And I do have a condom. Perhaps you can bring one also. We'll be going at it a lot. So there are chicks eating live insects on YouTube, so I don't see any problem. And according to the doctors, I'm centipede free. Actually, the hospital wouldn't release me if I wouldn't claim that there are no centipedes in my body. And the doctor, Arnold Carter, refused to analyze that yellow sticky poison if that would have been compared to that venom of Lithobius forficatus, which is quite easy to come by in the Netherlands. I caught one here in the backyard in Mijdrecht as well. There was in Tienhoven in Great Britain, in Germany, and in the US. And the common house centipede, maybe in far more countries. Probably there are maps online, you can see where they live. Some mesh in front of the ventilation shafts and doing a bug check is a good idea. Usually they travel in pairs, and once they procreate in your intestine, I think there is no cure. You can't get rid of them. I've tried a lot of things, including horse dewormer. I made a video of that. It was also completely ineffective. It's like they live on that stuff or whatever. They make closable ventricles, and they scavenge, so they make markings, pretty long insect bites on your body, and they drop their venom in them, in these marks. These long canals, basically, of which I also have pictures. In the hospital they thought that I had mutilated myself. Though I don't really believe that they believe that themselves, and that they would have analyzed that yellow sticky poison of which they didn't know what it was. So that this is a deliberate, possibly deliberate misdiagnosis. And perhaps I can sue for damages if I'm filled with centipedes now, because of that misdiagnosis. There was something visible on the CT scan, but they went in with a camera, bronchoscopy, even into my lung, and they didn't see anything. My lungs were looking good. And according to sources online, the lungs of smokers, pictures you see sometimes, are in reality lungs of coal mine workers. So my lungs didn't look anything like that. Highly probable that I don't have an iron lung. Yeah. So with the condom, really nothing can happen. I eat my sperm regularly because it contains protein, and sperm is healthy. It's scientifically proven. So I'm a bit off today because of the headache, because of the warmth. I think they didn't do that with HARP, but I'm not sure. They didn't do it with the directed energy weapon, with their beam. I usually still say harp because everybody knows it's FIPA, or at least millions of people know. The info is online. You can Google everything I wrote and say, and then compare the naysayers to the yes-sayers, etc. And then see if they have any evidence that proves it beyond any reasonable doubt, like reproducible studies. Trust no one, nothing is what it seems. Test everything you learn. The best way to learn is to teach, they say. I think an English teacher, Beus or Beusekom, of the Casimir Lyceum said that, or perhaps another English teacher. So, I don't like it when my shirt goes front all the time. Hydrate, breathe, masturbate. So we can also watch movies, or I can give you a shiatsu hand massage. And I've always checked my feces and urine and never saw any centipedes in there. Though other people have reported that they did find a centipede in their feces, etc. Also in the feces and the poop of their child, and in the dog and cats and other animals. So centipedes are not dangerous is a lie, and of course I hope that CNN or other mainstream media or Alex Jones or whoever with many viewers contacts me, so we can expose these two things: the two-state solution world war and the danger of centipedes in humans, known as pseudoparasitism of myriapoda in humans, to the scientists, that why many people don't know that centipedes procreate in the human intestine, that they are at least pseudo-parasites, so they don't always go into your body when they get the chance, supposedly. But I don't buy that, because my father slept in the house in Tienhoven one night, and he also has these centipedes. So I think they will always enter your body when they get the chance. And it is possible that they are genetically modified, or that this is a hybrid insect of somebody that I've been negative about, or that was exposed by other people on the internet, and I copied that. And it might scan for names. Oh, that's Ignaje, the Dutch Ignaje, van the perpetrator of the perps. So they talk your local language as a neural network, and they are basically trying to take possession of people's bodies and let them do murders and play them out against each other, or to depopulate and to get rid of their enemies, to create their Luciferian, satanic, if you will, totalitarian, negative dystopian global government, I call it. Because that's what it is, that's what they want to create in reality. Power to the pedo instead of power to the people, or power to the peaceful. So, that's it. Some new stuff, not too much, but this is another broadcast with the most important stuff, I think, for now. And I've uploaded more than 600 videos, some of them have 15,000 views, etc. So I think there are quite a number of people on the web that have seen me. I have over 100 likes, that's also cool. Thank you all for your likes, really awesome, thanks. I appreciate it, and I think it will help to create a better timeline. That's really what I'm trying to do. And perhaps if other people that are better and smarter than I am, or more influential, then it would make a whole lot of difference. So I'm trying to do what I can in my position to achieve this perfect society in which we all live happily eternally. And I think the key is education, de-religionization, and not just de-Islamization. So, universal peace to all. And I still use this hand signal, and I've also exposed Churchill a little bit, so you would have to check my previous broadcasts if you want to know more. And the older the broadcast, the bigger the chance is that there are still lies or untruths in there. And they can also be in this broadcast. I always try to give the link to the source of the information. And I've indicated that it can be satire, it can be an idea of the neural network to make me look bad or to play people out against each other, etc., to achieve the opposite of what I'm trying to do here. So, have a good one for universal peace. No live phone calls. Then I now temporarily halt this broadcast, this real stream, for universal peace.